Hello, everyone. For people who are watching this, we have Satish with us. Satish, long back has probably predicted that maths and stats is going to be the future, right? And from University of Madras, he has done his, education, graduation in maths and stats, right? Post which, the kind of experience which Satish has is impeccable, right? He continuously worked with different companies. He worked with a Singapore-based company. He worked as a product manager, technical account manager, technical architect for a company called as Mindtree in I believe Singapore. It's showing as PTE Limited, right? And on a lot of companies, Satish has been co-founder on multiple companies and founder on multiple companies. So he's a seasonal entrepreneur, right? In all of the firms that he is founder, there is a keen element of technology, right? So thank you so much, Satish, for pulling off your time from your busy schedule for this leadership talk. The first question that I have is, Satish, a lot of people want to get into the field of artificial intelligence, but they aren't really aware of what kind of work happens in the real world. So, would you like to throw some light on what kind of projects happen in the real world for everyone's benefit?
I think this is a kind of a hot topic now, right? Because a lot of people think they would lose jobs because of AI. It's also happening also in a couple of areas, right? But I think where we have taken artificial intelligence is in the basic necessity of any human being. We have three basic necessities. We have to eat food, we need to have a house, we need to wear a cloth, right? Roti kapda makan. Just on simple terms. So when I started Kratos Innovation Labs in 2016, one of the first things what I did is actually I got certified from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. I'm the first batch pass out, where we wanted to understand where blockchain could be used. Even today, 95% people think blockchain is Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, which is one of the use cases, but there are about 120 use cases that we could actually use using blockchain. That is the reason why I went back to my basics and got certified. And clearly understood by 2017, the biggest use case is actually in the food ecosystem. Right? Today, 85% of the transactions that happen with farmers in India, Africa, or in the global south are actually cash-based transactions. Everything is cash. Why does a farmer wake up at 3 o'clock, go to a mandi and sell his lady's finger at 6 rupees per kilo? Is that he's getting spot cash at these APMCs and he's happy about it. Whereas somebody living in Hyderabad or Chennai, we're actually paying 40 rupees for a kilo of lady's finger. Okay? So there's a lot of touch points before that something reaches our plate. So why I'm giving this example is that artificial intelligence today is not effective if we do not give it clean data. And we understood 9 years before is that the only way to get clean data is through a distributed ledger technology called as blockchain. Why we use DLT as a name is that crypto is one part where you have multiple servers, it gets committed, and that's why it becomes tamper-proof. But you can achieve the same for food supply chain, for any of the supply chains. And where we have multiple non-trusting parties. A farmer may not trust the trader. Consumer may not trust the retail shop owners, that if they say again tomato is 20 rupees, they know that it's only farm is willing 2 rupees, right? So the moment you start committing all this data into a blockchain, a clean data, then you can derive a lot of analytics from AI. That's a key point which I want to emphasize, and I teach all my modules at Singapore Management University and IIM as a visiting faculty. That's why a lot of respect to you, sir, Badi sir. That's the whole idea, right? Now, the point here is that where we have spent 9 years of my time and is that if you can actually collect data, clean data from the farmers, and then tell the same data to the consumer, they will start now understanding that, the pain that a farmer goes through and how many touch points it has gone through before it reaches the plate. We call farm to fork. But why AI, right? Today, everybody understands tomato as a tomato, but it takes about 60 days before it becomes a tomato, right? So we have to start tracking the pre-harvest data. And the only way now to help a farmer is to make sure that if they can actually increase the yield and reduce the crop loss. That's exactly where we use AI deep vision to get data from a satellite like Sentinel-2 and then use our neural networks to break down like 4,000 frames into one small image where we can clearly articulate where there is a pest attack happening. So today our technology is 4x4, right? So basically it's called FarmHawk. Hawk has a very clear vision, even from a kilometer away while it's flying. We are now using satellites that are flying at 6,000 above geostationary orbit and still able to get a kind of a FarmHawk kind of, that's why it's called FarmHawk, one of our modules which went live last week. And we did obviously 5 years before in Meghalaya and other places, but now with AI coming in, it become much more easier for people, for technology companies like us, to bring this technology at an affordable price. Today, technology exists for the last 25 years, but is it affordable for a farmer at 50 rupees per month? That is exactly where my vision, how I implemented this. So I'll talk about AI here. So what happens normally in the pre-harvest is that about 48% of crop loss happens within the pre-harvest. It could be either drought, it could be a pest attack, it could be other conditions, climatic changes that are happening today that a farmer is not aware that is happening. So what we have done is we have built a technology with so less latency that today we are able to get live satellite data within 12 seconds, apply our AI neural networks, bring it in a color-coded way where the farmer is able to understand. That's the best part. I can show you a small demo if time permits, but I'll give the technology behind this, right? And today, again, farmers in the global south, South America, Africa, India, China, and Southeast Asia, they don't have too many smartphones. So what we have done, we understood day one, it said, if you can go to a farmer producer organization, which is supported by NABARD in India, they have field officers, they do have smartphones, they can take this technology and explain to a farmer. Again, we're dealing with smallholder farmers, right? So we are looking at, just give me a second. Somebody's calling from UK. Please go on mute. Apologies for that.
Yeah, no problem.
What we are trying to do is that we are taking this technology to a cluster level, which is a combination of 5 villages. And each village, there's a field officer that can have a smartphone and can explain what is happening to the farmer in a sense, so that they can proactively take a decision. First is a crop loss, right? If there's a pest attack, within 2 days, the entire crop will be gone. So what we are doing is that if you can bring this tech on a mobile phone and they do a on-demand, they're able to get all these analytics, they can save the crop. And why we are charging only 50 rupees? Because we want this technology to reach as many farmers as possible. Today, we are talking about 500 million farmers. So that is where AI comes in. Now, will a farmer lose a job because of AI? No, right? Actually, the AI is actually saving his crop and increasing his yield. So that hopefully is a good justification why AI in the food ecosystem.
Wonderful, Mr. Satish. I'm really happy to know that your product has enhanced to a significant level. And look at the social aspect of it.
Correct.
You don't just want to build an AI solution which caters to the elite group, but you want the AI solution to cater to the farmers at a very, very affordable price.
Correct.
That means your technology and tech stack and the servers that you're using should be really optimized. Otherwise, only on GPUs, you must be investing a lot of time, right? So satellite images, image data, and one very important thing that you have told us, right kind of data.
Correct. Clean data. Clean data
AI, absolutely. Yes. AI solution is as good as data.
Correct.
Usually, that is where people struggle. Models and all are publicly available, the code, etc.
Correct.
You tweak your hyperparameters and you get the delta change, the delta benefit on accuracy. But data is very, very important. So that's very important, friends. Satish is very clearly saying that focus on these elements. And the second question is, Mr. Satish, if you were to hire someone in your company, what
Correct.
kind of skills do you actually look for?
Okay, by experience, running multiple centers of excellence in Singapore, that's my background. Before I started Kratos, I was heading a center of excellence for a world's second largest mining company. They're into gold, copper mining. We were actually deployed all the solutions in the middle of Gobi Desert in Mongolia. That's my expertise. But when I turned 40, I want to do something good to society. As you said, I'm a social impact entrepreneur. Now, given 9 years of my prime corporate life, I had to do something good to society. That's my thing, right? So, first thing I see in any of if somebody I want to hire, I look for the attitude. Technology can always be taught. I asked first question, how much empathy they show towards somebody that's actually producing food for us and often going hungry. Right? It's a very powerful statement, right? Today, farmer, I've seen with own eyes, when I went to a tribal village near Padiru in Araku Valley, they're actually producing high quality millets and also producing high quality turmeric. And this real thing happened in 2019 when World Bank and IFC had a chance to meet them, delegates, and they said, you look at a pyramid, right? On the top is where IFC gives $100 million to a state government. They also know that only but it goes all the levels of pyramid. The bottom of the pyramid are the farmers, right? They also know that only 10% reaches them. Could be less also. They said, why don't you start at the bottom of the pyramid? So I went to these tribal villages. I asked, I went to this village, right? Very beautiful. I can send some pictures also. Beautiful, high quality organic produce. But his son is malnourished. Surprising, right? Millets, foxtail millets, good food. So I asked the same question, and he basically said, sir, my grandfather took about 500 rupees loan 50 years before. I'm still paying the interest after 3 generations.
My God.
This is real. Very unfortunate. We are 70 years plus into, our 75, we can say independence, right? Luckily, Constitution does not allow tribals to sell their land. If not, they would have been totally vanished from our maps. Okay, anyway, I'm not trying to get into the emotional part of it. The point here I want to make here is that the social culture, the debt that he is going through for last 2 generations can actually be cleared through technology like AI. That's where I start mapping, saying that if I can tell his story through a blockchain network and give him a way to sell his produce directly, cutting down all the middlemen. Today, I gave an example of 6 rupees if farmer gets for a lady's finger, we are paying 40 rupees. So who's making money? APMC, distributors, everybody, right? So with blockchain, you can actually create direct market linkage, and we have done it already in Lakadong, in Meghalaya. Tribal women that are producing the highest quality of turmeric in the world is actually coming from a place called Lakadong in Meghalaya, Bihar Hills. So our aggregators or our FPOs used our technology called FoodLens, which we went live 5 years before. We were able to put all the data on a blockchain and give the proof that this is actually coming from Lakadong, and the FPO was able to sell directly to the consumers. So we were able to cut down all the middlemen, and whatever profits they were his stake, we give it back to the farmers. So 20% more the woman farmer made. Also the FPO made money. Consumers also were able to get a cheaper price. So this is where blockchain came into picture. AI was deployed because we were able to give them pest attacks or pest detection just by taking pictures, right? Deep vision was employed. So today, again, to give a comfort zone to a lot of people who are worried about AI, right? AI is not going to, destroy farmers out there, at least in food supply chain, I can guarantee, right? It may cut down middlemen, which is fine. Today, what is the APMC doing? It is a capital 250 years. they're deploying capital, they're buying at 3 o'clock, selling at 10 o'clock. So it's 7 hours capital is what we call. Now, if people understand, right? Now, obviously, you cannot change the system which is there for 250 years. So neither I'm trying to change that. The idea here is that if 3% of the farmers or 5% of the farmers are able to sell direct, they can increase their livelihood, can be elevated from poverty. This is again, kind of a vision I'm on from 2019. We were voted top 30 by Action for India, ISB only, 2019. And then the journey continues. Very tough to implement, very tough to, make changes, because farmers do not trust somebody coming from Hyderabad or coming in Chennai and say, I'm giving you technology. So we don't even acquire farmers. We acquire only the FPOs. We train them. We say, sir, you have to talk their language. For example, in Meghalaya, they talk Kashi language, Kashi, Kashi. So no point me calling from there that they will not. But if I can take this technology through a local guy who understands the technology, we actually employed a field officer who was actually selling tea in Meghalaya. But he understood the local language, so they trusted him. So he could take a bike, go to the hilly areas, do the GIS mapping, show the satellite imagery, take pictures to show the proof on blockchain. Everything was done 5 years before. We were too early in the game. Now we are in the right place where we can now bring the technology to masses. We are targeting 3% of the 500 million farmers out there in the global south. And again, it's a big journey. It's called Yagna, right? You're trying to create something that's basically affecting the human beings, which is food category. And again, controlled by a lot of corporates, a lot of big people who don't want this kind of technology to be there. So that's a correlation.
Absolutely. Wonderfully, articulated, Satish, I must say.
Correct.
It's not just your product, your articulation skills also, brings in that excitement into your product.
Correct.
And
so I can answer your question, Professor Bharani. So the first thing I'd look at somebody that wants to come is attitude, right? That actually can deliver things. Because the more they delay, somebody is going to get affected. I tell all the people, if you delay this delivery, the farmer is going to get affected. I'll not go into details, but I already shared some of the glimpses of it. So if they are best of the best developers, we don't need them. We need people who can understand, who has got empathy. With Cursor and ABC of all these IDs, anybody can write the code today. I also do coding myself. So I write a lot of code for firmware myself.
Wonderful. So there you go, friends. Satish is very clearly saying that he looks at the attitude, the right attitude with which people possess. Even if you're technically not that good, if you have right attitude, Satish says that you can make use of GenAI tools. You can improve your programming aspects. You can bring in scalability, security, maintainability, all these things. You just need to give those keywords and you'll get the most optimized code, right? So that's not the only skill. While you need to know how to use the tools, attitude is extremely important, having right attitude, right? Wonderful, Satish. I mean, these insights that you have just told us is going to help our audience immensely. Those who are thinking out aloud on what could be a few of the real world projects here, we have a social impact project directly impacting the people, who are working on ground, farmers, right? And this solution is going to improve the lifestyle and increase the livelihood of the farmers and help them, live a healthy life. Thank you. Yeah.
If you have a minute, I'll just quickly show you what
sure, sir. Absolutely.
Because that will be useful. So can you enable the sharing, please?
Yeah, we will do that.
I can see now. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yeah, able to see. I'll just switch off my camera so that your screen is completely visible.
Correct. So I've went directly into the field officer dashboard. Normally, we have a dashboard for the FPOs also, farmer organizations. So here, because of time constraint, so what I've done is, so now we have Mr. Yadaya. So if they go there, and we allow them to do a mapping directly. So this is done by the field officer actually. So let me zoom in to one place there. Okay. So we allow them to do the mapping. So let's pick up this map. I'm just doing a bigger map to show you clearly. You can also do one acre also, because most farmers don't have. So we've done 1.77. I'm drawing the boundary now. Sorry. Okay. I'm saving the form. It is exactly what we don't want to confuse farmers to do all this, so we put them for me. Go to analyze now. We have the other form too. It has loaded the map. So this is where I'm saying that when I click on analyze, it goes directly to satellite, brings all the data around 4,000 to 5,000 frames, and then does all the AI deep vision analysis and show you. So we're going to show you vegetation, everything. Let me click on this by the time it comes. So with the vegetation index, this is the moisture index, pH levels, NPK, biotic stress, pest detection, and also climate change data. These are very, very crucial elements for any farmer. If we can show them, use that. It took less than 10 seconds to get that. Now we see that it says, we look at vegetation index now. Look at the moisture index. If I just hover, if you look at below, it says low moisture content. So this is one of the first alerts we are giving. And we can also see all the data here. The pH levels, the nitrogen, which is very, very important. It says high nitrogen, which is good. So I'll jump to the biotic stress. See that? It's a moderate stress that's available today. And we give you all the data here. So biotic stress is one. Now what we have done here is that, because this is going to be global, we have also given, let's say, multiple Indian languages. So let's go for Telugu. And we now translate everything into languages, Telugu here. You can see that. Now then what happens is, the field officer can actually download the report in a Telugu language and give it to the farmer, because the farmer can understand that, right? I just want to quickly show you, there are a lot of other features also, but what is important is that how artificial intelligence was used to bring this data within 10 seconds or 12 seconds from a live satellite, and we're able to generate this entire thing in less than a minute, whatever you're seeing. So let me just, it's now looping through everything, and it has generated the report now. Take off my video as well. So if you can see there, so we are able to clearly show the data. Again, we're still building this, but it's very, very important that farmers get, the data, live data. They can see how their farm looks like at a given point of time. And we want this technology to be able to, reach the farmers at less than 50 rupees. It's technically 9 credits per analysis. They can take weekly. Each credit is a rupee, basically. So that's the whole idea. How we are able to bring the technology to less than 50 rupees per month. I hope
Wonderful.
that was, yeah.
Wonderful, Satish. More strength to you, and you would certainly grow in leaps and bounds, Satish. No doubt about that.
Thank you.
And we are also working with Tamil Nadu People Limited.
Okay.
We are using Sentinel-2, Landsat, etc. And we are trying to figure out what is the length of the branch, and then we are able to reduce the circumference of the trunk.
Correct.
However, what you have done is nothing short of a great achievement.
Thank you.
And the best part is you are helping the farmers. Those people who help us eat, their family should not suffer. Right? That's Absolutely. A very, very noble cause, I should say.
Correct.
Thank you so much, Satish. And there you go, friends. Satish has clearly demonstrated on what technology can do, and what are the very, very interesting AI projects which are possible. And in fact, he didn't just spoke on the fly, right? He has shared his screen and demonstrated the things live in action. And also, he's very clear in saying that until and unless someone has right attitude, I would probably not like to hire them. Right? So please possess right attitude. It is extremely important in the current world, given that because of GenAI, a lot of things are becoming very simple. Okay, the activities such as writing code, building models, this is becoming easier and easier as we progress. But attitude, having right attitude, is probably the most difficult of the traits which one should possess. Thank you so much, Satish, and all the best for you. And thank you so much once again for pulling out time from your busy schedule to enlighten our audience. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Bade. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.